Yo, what is up? How are you all doing? Sammy, I'm here with some exclusive Monster Hunter World footage. I had the pleasure of going to Pax West 2017, and I was able to capture some footage thanks to the folks at Capcom. I'll be giving you all some of my first impressions, as well as a bit of explanation of what's happening during my gameplay. I'm hunting with Shepard of Teamwork Podcast, Omnitoad, and Kogath, who are all great content creators. We head out to take down the Anjanath. In this hunt, I'll make sure to give links to where you can find them in the description of this video. So I just switched out to the Anjanath armor and taken the Charge Blade, favorite weapon, so I had to start out with that. There were a bit more options in the armor menu showing skills and things like that. I spent about 2 to 3 minutes looking through all that, so I'm going to save some of that footage. I'll put out a different video going more in depth and in detail about the armor skills and what those changes look like. So what you just saw there, I just was walking and grabbed a ration and just ate it. And what's cool there is I just did that while walking, so there was no stop animation or anything like that. And same thing with the stone I just gathered. He just walks by and just picks it up. Like, there's no kind of hesitation or anything like that. It's just very fluid. That's one of the very important things I think about this game, is everything is just so fluid and so smooth. Everything just feels natural. Right here, I'm looking at these ant guys. I was trying to capture them. I wasn't sure if they were part of like the environment or if they were little critters, because I have seen other footage of people catching like birds and little rodents and things like that. So I was messing around with that. You have to equip something in your slinger before you shoot it. So that took some getting used to, as opposed to previous titles where you would just, hit square and use whatever that item may be. But I did finally equip the net just to see that you can't actually capture them. Right there, I was just changing some of my controls. I play inverted camera, so I was looking for that in the menu. I did find that, but there's also a bunch of other options that are very interesting in there, so I saved some of that time. I was going through those menus for about another minute or two, and I'll save that and put that in another video as well, most likely with the armor skills, looking at that in depth and get some more details in what that looks like.
Okay, you know what you have to do. Get in there and do your stuff.
So yeah, using the Charge Blade itself, it feels great. There are some control changes that took some getting used to. The main one being that R1 is still used for sprinting when you don't have your weapon out, but when you do have your weapon out, it looks like it was set, at least default. There are a lot of different controls and options you can change around, so that may be one of them, but it's also used for sheathing. And then R2 is used for all of your weapon actions, as opposed to also using R1 as it's been in previous titles. So it took some getting used to having to do my guard points and changing to axe mode in R2 as opposed to doing that all in R1. So like right there, that was where I tried to do a guard point, but I was hitting R1, so I missed that. So there's some things in here that may seem like, what is he doing? Why is he not doing normal attacks and things like that? It took some getting used to. Just so much muscle memory of always using R1. But I did find out that there are settings to swap those buttons, both R1 and R2, as well as on the left side, L1 and L2. So that's great. Like I said, it looks like there's so many changes that allow you to play exactly how you want to. So right here, myself and Omni were putting in some KO damage. You can see that he has some like purple goop hanging out of his mouth. So that's what it looks like now when a monster's poisoned. I have the Raytheon Charge Blade, which has poison on it. So when he was poisoned, instead of shooting out like purple squares or purple circles as they usually do, they just drip purple out of their mouth, which is a great effect. I think it looks awesome. So you see I keep doing, there's a slide attack, which was shown in the weapon video. So you can combo into that and out of that with any sword slash attack. And you do that just by doing a slash and then doing a direction and circle, and you can go forward, backwards, left and right. As before, it takes some getting used to, but it just feels very fluid. Right there, Anjanath just tried to knock me off. I wasn't sure of the button, so at that time, I literally just spammed every button on the controller, and I came right back onto him. Later on, I spoke with Yuri over at Capcom, and the button to press is actually circle, but it was awesome just to see that happen. Like, he threw me off, but I was able to recover and continue with the mount. See it right there? That's I just charged some files into the shield. I've done it a few more times, but the animation that shows up in the top left of the screen is just—it's so pretty that it's worth noting of how great just that little animation looks right there. I just did it again. So what I'm doing right here a lot of the times is like, why do you keep charging your shield or doing ultras with nothing in there? I'm trying to do the sword elemental discharge. I think that's what it's called, where you can charge your sword with files. But that input it's a little, it's not iffy. It's just, it's timing based. So you can't just press it. So right there, you have to hold triangle, but you have to release it at the right time. If you hold it too long, you just do a sword slash like I did right there. And if you don't hold it long enough, you just do a normal sword slash. So I'm trying to learn that timing. So that's what a lot of this is, of me just slashing at nothing and charging my shield over and over. I do eventually get it, but it just took a few times to learn that timing. Once you do that, your sword is then charged with whatever type of file your charge blade has. So this charge blade's impact, so the sword then has KO file damage on it, similar to kind of how Sword and Shield had its oils and generation. So the sword will then do KO damage as well as doing any kind of blocking with the shield. It's also cool to note that, granted, this is pretty much a demo build, so it's hard to really tell the exact resistances and things like that of monsters, but I think we get about 2 or 3 sleeps off, and we only have 1 sleep weapon, the hunting horn that Omnitoad is using. I don't think Shepard was shooting any sleep shots, so it's cool to see just hunting horn got off at least 2. Maybe we get a 3rd sleep off as well. So yeah, again right here, I'm just trying to get that sword charge off. So right here, I get it off. So right there, it's a super cool attack as well. Just you like slam the sword in the ground with like the sparks and everything. So now you can see in the top left that the sword is also glowing as well as the shield. Your shield does need to be charged to do that, but it doesn't take anything. It doesn't use files. It doesn't use your shield charge. So it's pretty much just free extra buffs on your sword, which is awesome. Right there, you see Rathalos is around. So he shows up and he does some heavy damage to Anjanath. You can see it right there. He just did 1321. And you look at our attacks, we're doing about 10, maybe some really good hits, 20, 30. So that 1321 damage was huge. I am curious to see how that scales later in the game. If they'll always do a flat amount or if it'll be based off of rank or anything like that. Right there, that was me trying to figure out how to use the camera locking mechanism. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I was just pressing R3 and it was switching between monsters. It seemed like it was taking my camera and just auto locking it. rather than doing the normal, like, moves the camera over to the monster, and then you just continue using it.
All right, you completed the quest. Congrats.
So right there, we finished the hunt, successful hunt. I feel like Rathlos did a huge part of damage there near the end. The game feels great. I would like to say it's pretty much perfect as far as anything I can want. One cool thing to mention here is that you can hold X now to just gather everything. You don't need to hit X right, X right. And yeah, thank you guys for checking it out. I should do all that cool YouTube stuff. Fairly new at this, so hope you guys enjoy it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And hopefully I'll see you guys on the next video.